This is a video response to We Are One Through God in relation to your video titled Desteni, What? 13 Questions About Your Belief System. Okay, I'm just going to answer a couple of your questions here. The first one where you asked, if emotions are programs of the matrix, why in the dimensions do people still have emotions? Okay, let me explain the difference between the dimensional beings and their expression compared to human beings and their expression when it comes to emotions. Let's take Lily for example. Let's say Lily comes through and she expresses joy in the moment that she comes through. She becomes the living expression of joy when she is expressing joy, when she is sharing her specific message. There are no thoughts or pictures or memories involved in Lily's expression of joy. It is completely the expression of herself in that moment. Then, when she has finished expressing it, she lets it go by her own doing. For example, let's say Lily comes through and makes a video. Then people react to her video and say, it is shit. Lily doesn't then go into sadness and depression based on what others say, because she has not defined herself as that. She is not defined by emotions. So it wouldn't affect her if someone said, hey Lily, that was a really shit video you made. It doesn't move her as who she is. So the dimensional beings are able to become an emotion to in the moment express themselves as who they are and who they are expressing themselves as in that moment, and the message that they are conveying at any given moment when they come through. Unlike, human beings who are possessed and consumed by emotions. Human beings use emotions to manipulate one another. Human beings have defined who they are as emotions, therefore require having to continuously generate energy in order to keep the emotional systems in play. The beings in the dimensions have already walked through their own processes of investigating how they got to where they are, and they have already walked the points of correction required to realize themselves as life. Now it is the human being's turn to walk the exact same process, which is what we are doing in the desteini process, so that we can also investigate why and how we got to where we are. I mean, if Lily had to come through now and I went up to her with like an energy and I said, hey Lily, my pal, how are you my buddy? So good to see you. How have you been? Lily would look me straight in the eyes and say to me, what are you busy doing? What is that energy that is moving you? Why are you trying to create and maintain an idea of friendship between us? She would seriously point out to me where I am being self-dishonest and where I am expressing myself from a point of emotion in order to create something that is not there. That is the difference between them and us currently. Emotions do not move and change who they are, because they have all collectively already walked their points of correction, and they have already come to the point where they have decided collectively to always do what is best for all. So with that in place as their foundation and starting point of themselves, they are not expressing an emotion. If they come through and in a moment want to express joy and become the expression of that in a moment, then that is the expression of them. It is not to label it as an emotion or anything like that, because once again, if you take Lily in that example of her coming through and expressing her experience of joy in a moment, Lily is not doing that to get you to like her. She's not doing that so that she can manipulate you into liking her. It's not like that at all. She is simply expressing who she is in that moment as the expression of herself. There's no emotion involved. And they are always acting within the principle of what is best for all. They're actually living that right now. Human beings have not come to that point of understanding and applying what is best for all. So when human beings use emotions, it is all based on self-deception, because, have a look, you do not decide to be sad. You are sad because something in your environment happened or changed that made you react in sadness. Then the sadness may, for example, turn into depression. You do not decide to become the expression of depression. It is a consequential outflow of existing within an as well as participating within other emotions. So, yes, I think that answer is satisfactory in terms of just showing you the difference between dimensional beings and their expressions as opposed to human beings' current expression of who they are, or believe themselves to be, should I say. Okay, the next question, you asked, if you guys are an anti-belief system, then why do you guys preach the dogma of no God? Okay, here let me just state that we do not believe that there is no God. Because in order to believe something, you have to actually generate an idea or a value about something and then believe in it. Meaning it is not part of reality. Take, for example, this cup on my desk. Okay, don't know if you heard that, but that was my cup. Okay, take the cup on my desk. The cup is a cup. And the cup is here in the physical on my desk. Now I am not believing that the cup is here and thus manifesting it here. It is simply here. Now, where the belief system would come in is, for example, where I would think up and generate an idea or value about the cup and then superimpose it onto the cup. For example, there are two cups right next to each other. Now, because I bought the one cup for 10 Rand at a cheap shop and the other cup for 25 Rand at a more expensive elitist type shop, I think about and generate a value of the cups in my mind, and then I take it out of my head and I place that value as a belief onto the cups where I actually believe the one cup to be better or more than the other cup, when in fact you'd probably find that behind the scenes they were both made in exactly the same factory. So I didn't just remain here in the physical and seeing the cup and feeling the cup and acknowledging that the cup is in fact here. I took it a step further and created a belief about the cup which I attached to the cup, which has got nothing to do with the cup being here and being a freaking cup. Now have a look for yourself. We do not believe that there is no God. We know that there is no God because we have looked around to see for God, but cannot see Him anywhere. He isn't there, therefore He isn't there. We are not creating a belief about it by conjuring up in our minds that He is not here. No, we use the physical to test it. I mean, He is either here as a being who you can speak to and see, etc. But He isn't, therefore it is only common sense that there is no God. Now, if you had to respond to that and say to me, which I know many Christians would, for example, say, but there is a God who is taking care of us, then I would just be able to disprove that by using again the physical reality as my point of reference. How many people are currently starving within this world? How many are not being taken care of? So then by definition of saying God exists because He takes care of us, you would prove that there is no God, in fact, because where is He? Why are so many not taken care of? Common sense, again, not creating a belief here, it is fact. You can check this for yourself, I mean, just watch the freaking news. Have a look at what the Destonians are doing. We are not able to see into the dimensions like the portal, and we are not able to currently see everything like Bernard does, for example. But what do we have? We have what is here, and we work with what is here because that is reality. We investigate these things for ourselves. We follow the news and we write and express about what we see is in fact happening. We can see for ourselves that all the abuse that is currently existent within this reality can be taken back to one source point, which is money. So in walking this process of being a Destonian, we are not living off of belief systems. We have investigated and continue investigating what is here in the physical reality as our point to test for ourselves if it is in fact so. Now again, tying this point in with the first answer I gave regarding the previous question of yours, the dimensions have already walked through all of the manifested layers of shit that they have accepted and allowed themselves to be defined as, and therefore trapped within and enslaved by. That is why they are able to be now at a point where they are stable and constant within their application of doing at all times what is best for all. We still have to go through this, and again, that is what the tools offered with the Desteni process assist and support self with. We are busy working with and moving through all of the manifested layers of bullshit which we have been trapped by. We have allowed it, so we have to self-correct the points by ourselves and for ourselves. And as we move through all of the layers and we peel them back, we are able to see for ourselves how trapped we were and still are. Because, there is the example of believing in a God when everything around you in this reality here disproves that statement in all ways possible. Now I am able to see that for myself. It's common sense. I suggest, test it for yourself. Call God and see if He comes. What does He look like? Where does He live? Or are you going to fall into the group of people who point at a spot in the sky saying, God is there, when there is sweet blow fuck all? Maybe a cloud or a bird or something, but not God.